There was a ball in the old Pentland house, because for the first time in nearly 40 years, there was a young girl in the family to be introduced to the polite world of Boston, and to the elect who had been asked to come on from New York and Philadelphia. So the old house was all bedizened with lanterns and bunches of late spring flowers, and in the bare, white-painted, dignified hallway, a Negro band, hidden discreetly by flowers, sat making noisy, obscene music. Sybil Pentland was 18, and lately returned from school in Paris, whither she had been sent against the advice of the conservative members of her own family, which, it might have been said, included in its connections most of Boston. Already her great-aunt, Mrs. Cassandra Struthers, a formidable woman, had gone through the list of eligible young men, the cousins and connections who were presentable and possessed of fortunes worthy of consideration by a family so solidly rich as the Pentlands. It was toward this end that the ball had been launched, and the whole countryside invited, young and old, spry and infirm, middle-aged and dowdy, toward this end, and with the idea of showing the world that the family had lost none of its prestige for all the lack of young people in its ranks. For this prestige had once been of national proportions, though now it had shrunk until the Pentland name was little known outside of New England. Rather, it might have been said that the nation had run away from New England and the Pentland family, leaving it stranded, and almost forgotten by the side of the path which marked an unruly, almost barbaric progress away from all that the Pentland family and the old house represented. Sybil's grandfather had seen to it that there was plenty of champagne, and there were tables piled with salads and cold lobster and sandwiches and hot chicken in chafing dishes. It was as if a family, whose whole history had been marked by thrift and caution, had suddenly cast to the winds all semblance of restraint in a heroic gesture toward splendor. But in some way, the gesture seemed to be failing. The Negro music sounded wild and spirited, but also indiscreet and out of place in a house so old and solemn. A few men and one or two women, known for their fondness for drink, consumed a great deal of champagne. But only dullness came of it. Dullness and a kind of dead despair. The rich, the splendorous, the gorgeous, the barbaric had no place in rooms where the kind Mr. Longfellow and the immortal Messrs. Emerson and Lowell had once sat and talked of life. In a hallway, beneath the gaze of a row of ancestors remarkable for the grimness of their faces, the music appeared to lose its quality of abandon. It did not belong in this genteel world. On the fringes of the party, there was some drunkenness among the undergraduates imported from Cambridge, but there was very little gaiety. The champagne fell upon barren ground. The party drooped. Though the affair was given primarily to place Sybil Pentland upon the matrimonial market of this compact world, it served, too, as an introduction for Therese Callender, who had come to spend the summer at Brook Cottage across the stony meadows on the other side of the river from Pentlands, and as a reintroduction of her mother, a far more vivid and remarkable person. Durham and the countryside thereabouts was familiar enough to her, for she had been born there, and passed her childhood within sight of the spire of the Durham town meeting-house. And now, after an absence of 20 years, she had come back out of a world which her own people, the people of her childhood, considered strange and ungenteel.